Okay, welcome back, friends. This is Real Tea with Amanda, and I have a special guest today, Mariah.
Hi.
Would you mind doing a little intro for the people who don't know you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Mariah. I am not a real estate agent. I am a hairdresser. I do Amanda's hair actually. That's why, she looks so hot as a redhead.
Yes.
But I have an extensive renter's history and I'm here to spill some tea on that.
She's got tea to give, and we're here to spill.
Yes.
So, okay, obviously, as a renter, you have bad landlords, you've got bad agents, you got shit homes sometimes even.
Yeah.
So what's your story?
Well, I've been renting honestly since college. So I've had like the college renters experience, and then just like traditional regular stuff, I guess. Each are a little bit different in their own aspect because you think of college, you think of like dump houses,
Frat houses.
Yeah.
You got sorority homes,
Yeah.
but they're run down. They're off
Yeah.
campus.
Oh, I wasn't that cool. I went to like a liberal arts college.
She's cool as fuck.
So
She's cooler than that.
So like up in the mountains, like
Yeah.
hippie, like for sure.
Yeah.
So Vermont hippie mountains, it's like as basic as you can get with that. But yeah. I don't know where should I like just like talk about where I first rented,
Yeah.
or like how you want me to dive into this?
Whatever you want to share, the people want to know, and I do too.
Okay. Well, I think my first lesson that I ever learned with renting is be careful who you rent with.
Okay. Like a roommate situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tea on that.
And when I tell you, it doesn't matter how close of a friend you are with somebody,
Right.
living with them is like completely different.
Right.
That's why like I'm a firm believer. Like I'm not married yet, so I guess I can't really say anything. But like I wouldn't marry somebody if I hadn't lived with them
It's a
at
huge
least
step.
for like a little bit.
Yeah.
Because people that wait till marriage to like move in with each other, I think you're crazy.
It's a shock.
Like,
because sometimes your significant other is a slob, and sometimes you're the slob and they're the clean freak, and you two just like cannot be on the same page.
and you don't even know.
You don't know because you've never lived with it before.
It's like watching like the 90-day like fiance
Yeah.
thing where they like finally live together for a little bit and they're like, what is
Yeah, and
happening?
they actually hate each other.
Yeah.
Like they don't love each other at all.
Yeah, no, so I can't do it. But my first apartment in college, oh god, I paid like $350 a month in rent. That was beautiful.
Dude,
that was awesome.
bring back $350 rent.
It was awesome. It was 4 girls. It was 4 girls, and then my boyfriend at the time. That was like a part of the agreement.
Right.
I was like the only one who was like in like a committed relationship, and so I got the biggest room. I had the dog. Nobody else had a dog.
Yeah.
So, but everybody loved him.
Had you lived with your significant other at the time before that?
In the dorms.
Okay.
I very much so. So I was lucky and I got a single dorm my freshman year.
Okay. Period.
I also was like preemptively like doing everything super early.
Right.
Like filling out my housing and my questionnaires and like all the things that I wanted. And I think that's truly why I got a single.
Like first come, first serve.
Yes. And it was awesome. And it was in college, like if you have the single dorm that's like on the end, you have the biggest one.
Right.
Because like it's just like, when they're in the middle, they're kind of like cookie cutter. But when you're on the end, you get like an extra like 2 feet.
Yeah. And
so
you
that
get
was me.
Windows.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. And then I decided like the next year to like room with one of my girlfriends, and that was awful. I mean, I shouldn't say awful, but again, we lived very different lifestyles. Right. She, like, I thought like I was like hippie. No, like she was like wook, like without like dressing like a wook. I don't really know how to explain it.
I don't know what a wook is. Can you tell the people what a wook is?
Well, I don't know like what the Urban Dictionary like defined of a wook is, but it's like, imagine someone that just like could live in the forest, but you like live with them in your room. Like they're
like a fairy?
No,
She's outside picking mushrooms.
I don't want to say this where it comes off like it's rude, because this is still one of my like dearest friends to this day, but
Right.
like she didn't believe in deodorant.
Okay. Very earthy. Homeopathic.
All like deep in the soil.
Right.
Okay. Like, and was like big on like psychedelics and stuff, and like dubsteppy like music and lights and all the things. And those are the sweetest people I've ever met in my entire life, by the way. But like, I just wear deodorant because I like to smell cleaner.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter how I say that, it doesn't sound good.
No. I get what you're saying. Like, when I don't wear deodorant, it's like, okay, so just as an example, so I too was on a homeopathic kick, much like your book friend, and I went on no aluminum deodorant.
Yeah.
And I was still living at home with my dad, and he goes, "Damn, which one of y'all forgot to put on deodorant?" And I was like, what are you talking about? And I did put on deodorant, but I smelled, and he goes, "I think you need aluminum in your deodorant."
He's like, I don't care if you get cancer in your armpits. Like, you need the extra off.
Anyways, I wear regular deodorant, but it is aluminum free, and it still smells like lavender. So I'm like off that.
I use Tom's.
Yeah.
But
my husband loves Tom's.
I've been using Tom's for so long though that like I think my body's just used to it, so like it like genuinely like works for me, because I know for some people they're like, I can't do it, like I still sweat, but no, like it like really works for me, and it's really gentle. Darius, my man, baby daddy, whatever you want to call, we're not married,
her significant other.
I'm throwing that out there. He is very sensitive to like deodorant and stuff, and so he gets like rashes, and
like the red chemical burns.
Not even, it's more like a rash. It's not even a burn. I've seen the burns though. That's
my husband had that.
That is crazy.
His go-to deodorant before he switched to Tom's, like you,
was what, Old Spice.
Old Spice. That motherfucker had chemical burns.
It happens to a lot of people.
It was
like
bad. I
feel like we're gearing off.
Yeah, sorry. Was a tangent. All right, so you were your roommate.
Yeah. So
in college.
That was like a prime example of like, we were best friends, glued to the hip, like had so much fun together, but like lived polar opposite. And you know, when you're in college, you know, it's not like you're in like an apartment where you can like separate and like live your own lifestyle in your own bedroom. No, like we're in this like massive space.
Yeah.
And like that's it. So
you got 4 walls.
Yeah. And that, let's just say the following semester I got back into a single, like immediately.
Fair, valid.
But by the time I had gotten into a real college apartment, it was kind of like not drawing straws, but it's like, all right, there's 3 of us, we need 1 more. Who here doesn't have an apartment that they're going into next? So it was like all right, we gotta figure this out.
Surprise!
Yeah, we didn't care who it was. We just had to like add somebody to the mix. Yeah. And again, another prime example of not knowing who people are until you live with them. So it was 4 girls, always good. The girl that we actually ended up getting last to live with us didn't work out.
Okay.
She was kind of like spiraling into her own life and other things, and wanted to live with another friend, and it was what it was. It wasn't the best transition. She could have been way nicer about like how she went about everything. Right. But yeah. And we found another roommate, another very like hippie girl, but more like on the vegan hippie side. So she was clean. She's a clean girl. And she had cats too, which was fine. I had no issues with cats, but one of her cats liked to pee.
Okay. That is an issue.
Yeah.
Because now it's your security deposit at risk.
Yes. And our landlord didn't know that we had cats, but he knew that we had a dog.
Right.
So,
but cat piss smells a lot different than dog piss.
Thank you for saying that, because that's where I was like leading into it. Because her cat would pee down into like our shoe room, I guess is what you would call it. It's like we lived up on a second floor, but then we had stairs down to our front door, and it was just like this little parlor. Like I just called it a shoe room, and he would go down there and he'd pee down there. And so I'd be like, "Hey, your cat peed in here." She's like, "No, I think it might have been your dog." And I'm like, respectfully, like
it smells like ammonia in here.
Yeah. It's like a significantly different smell. Yeah. So, that was like really the only issue we had. And then I lived with another best friend of mine. Like, so the four of us girls that were together, one of them was my really close friend at the time. And she got in a really toxic relationship. And I knew a lot of things behind the scenes. And it was kind of like one of those things where you're trying to look out for your friend, but your friend doesn't believe you kind of situation.
Yeah.
And it got really bad. Long story short, her boyfriend beat me up.
He
So
beat you up.
yes,
Her boyfriend beat you up.
yes. Weird. I know there's like a big jump scare right into that. Long story short, he was so awful to her. Um, and he would just smoke like backwoods in our apartment, and it would
Right.
just smell
Yeah.
like tobacco leaf.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind people like smoking weed or blunts or whatever, because like it goes away, but like backwoods are strong tobacco leaf, so it really leaves like
Right.
and we had a porch, so I don't know why like he
Like, why you
wouldn't.
in the house?
Yeah, so anyways, he contributed nothing besides like chaos,
So
in
he was
my
a bum.
opinion. Yeah, he ate our food, didn't pay bills, would run up our water bill, our electricity bill, all the things. Pretty sure he stole one of our other roommates' money out of her room.
Jesus.
But, you know, they'll deny that till the end of time. I confronted him.
Yeah. And that's why he beat you up?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I confronted him. And I was like, this is not, well, because the reason why I ended up confronting him is we got an electricity bill. And it was like hundreds of dollars, like almost $300. And we were like, what the F? Like,
Right.
normally we were in like the 150 range. You know, there's five of us with my partner at the time.
Right.
So I couldn't get a solid answer from my best friend at the time why our bill was so high, and she kept dodging me. So I called the water company myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, like, what?
We've got to have a fucking leak or something.
I was like, why would this be so high? And verbatim, they had said the amount of usage that's being used is as if another full-grown person is living in your house. So I was like, duh, there it is, right? But we were supposed to come up with a cost of like him.
Hello?
Yeah, and I was not okay with that.
Mind you, college students, so they're already broke as fuck.
Yeah, and I wasn't okay with that. All the girls were shy. They didn't want to say anything. They didn't want to start anything. I was like, fuck that. I'm going to say something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm not going to live in fear in my own house and like be taken advantage of. And my best friend, like I said, falling on like deaf ears. So finally, like, we had a confrontation, and because she had finally provided me like with the bill.
Right.
And I was like, I don't need it anymore. Like, I called them myself.
Yeah.
And she just left it. And he was like, nope, fuck that. Took the bill and like threw it at me. And I was like,
hello?
Excuse you? So that's kind of how it started. And then in the midst of the argument, you know, my common sense hit me. And I was like, why am I arguing with this man?
Right.
When I should be arguing with my best friend. Because she lives with me. He's just here, unfortunately.
Right. Like, he's not on the lease, she is.
So, you know, she was down in the shoe room, which is like down the stairs.
Right.
He's like in the middle of the stairs, like yelling at me from the top, because my bedroom door was like right in front of the stairs. And I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not going to sit here and like argue with this grown man. So I like go and I like push past him down the stairs, and I get to my friend so I can like talk to her about it. And next thing I know, he physically picks me up and throws me out my front door.
Jesus.
Like backwards. I smashed my head off like our cement. Like my whole elbow was like cut up. I had blood all over my arm. And then like I just kind of like blacked out, and I jumped up and I started wailing on this man. Like I just like started fighting back. And then again, because you know, when you're in that state of mind, and almost like anything, when you're in a very high intense situation, you kind of like forget and don't analyze like what's actually happening. Right. So at some point he was choking me, and I didn't realize it. And my other roommate, who was like hiding up like from the commotion, because you know, I lived with 4 girls, right? So it was my best friend that I was arguing with and her dude. And then 2 of the other girls were like hiding upstairs.
Yeah.
Thank God one of them came down and saw him choking me and like ripped his hand off of me.
Oh my God.
Again, like I didn't even know. Things started to like black out again. And And then they literally bolted out the front door and left.
Jesus.
It was crazy.
Do you think he would have choked you, like, to death?
He was a big dude. And I don't want to, like, say a lot of negative stuff because I don't really like to do that, but he definitely wasn't a sober person.
Okay. So he was under the influence when this happened?
Probably, honestly, probably.
Okay.
And I don't mean like weed because like that's
right.
Whatever. Like that's not anything.
I just hit the munchies when I'm
Yeah, you know, hopefully somebody would just like want to eat some food and like, you know, have a good time.
Chill
but
out.
No, this was like on another level of things, more like sedatives, I think is like the better way for me to put that. So that happened. It was crazy. You know, called the police, all these things. Not much came out of that situation. It became like a massive, like he said, because he was on the basketball team. This guy.
Okay.
And
so you guys went to school with this guy?
Oh yeah. Okay. And I actually used to really like him until he started dating my friend and was like cheating on her and doing really bad things.
Right, just like being not.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck you. Yeah. You know? Have my girlfriend's back, but sometimes when you do that, they take it as a personal attack. And that's kind of, you know, what happened. And we haven't spoken since then.
And that was your best friend at the time?
Yeah, it was. And very hurtful because like we were glued to the hip. And it's crazy because where she was from in Vermont was like right outside the town that my family lives in.
Right.
So like her family kind of knew my family.
Right.
Weirdly. So that one stung really bad and we haven't spoken since. And I wish it ended there, but it doesn't. So, you know, year goes by or whatever. I move into a new apartment. This apartment was actually really nice. Just to paint a picture, it was a 3-bedroom loft.
Okay.
College prices again for $1,000 a month.
Okay, not too shabby, too shabby.
And I worked full time at college, like full time. And I told myself, like, I'm gonna get the most money as possible as a college student. I ain't gonna be a broke college student because my parents didn't like fund me with anything. I was like on my own,
self-sufficient.
Yeah, they signed like maybe one little loan for me for my freshman year, but you know, I got 3 more years after that. So I worked at a ski lodge as a waitress.
Okay.
Fine dining. You know, I was making bank. I was making really good money, especially for in college. And this is also back in like 2015, 2016, you know, so like things were not that expensive. So that was good money for me. But I lived in this loft with my ex and my dog still. And it was just us for a while. And then one of our friends was like, hey, I got a friend who needs a place to stay. Can he come stay with you? And I was like, sure. Shouldn't have done that. do your research, people, or just listen to what people have to say. But the kid seemed really nice initially. He was younger than me. I think he was like 12, 18, 19, 20, within that range when he like moved in with me.
Right.
He stayed in one of our rooms and he was really sweet, really peaceful, paid me just like a little bit here and there because I didn't really need him to pay me. And then he got a girlfriend. And that's when things changed. Then he decided he wanted to sell drugs.
Oh.
Right? So it like just became like this big old thing. Like he was so sweet, so nice. And then he got this like Bosnian girlfriend. And I thought she was super sweet and stuff at first. But like, I don't know if she just like wanted to live this like luxury lifestyle in the middle of Vermont in like this mountain. I don't know. But all of a sudden he started like selling drugs. Things were not good. Long story short, me and my ex went on vacation to go visit his family. I get a phone call from the sheriff's department at like 1 a.m.
What's the deal? He got busted running drugs out your house?
I can't remember exactly what the situation was because even the cop was like confused on like my roommate's story.
Right.
Essentially what I think had happened is like he robbed somebody of their drugs or vice versa. Somebody robbed him of his drugs.
And he called the cops?
Oh, no. Okay. Sorry. It's like coming back to me now. Like some things you just like forget. He his girlfriend called me, of all people, not him, his girlfriend. And this is kind of what pissed me off even more. His girlfriend called me and said, hey, these people broke into the house, came into our room, stood over us, and then left.
What?
And I was like, what the fuck?
That makes no sense.
But word on the street from other people was that he had robbed this person that had come into my house, and they busted my fucking front door open, by the way,
shit.
broke that shit, and they were watching my dog while I was away.
Damn.
That pissed me off even more.
Yeah.
Like, that's my dog.
Yeah.
You know?
You're an innocent dog.
Yeah. And on top of that, they weren't even like taking good care of my dog.
Fuck them.
Because he had hit me up and he's like, hey, your dog is sick. I'm not cleaning up after it. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not cleaning?
It's like the bare minimum job.
He's like, well, he pooped in the house and I'm not doing that. I'm like, well, are you letting him out, dude? Like, what?
Yeah.
So, praise be my best friend, Morgan Mocha. Thank God for her. Her mom loves my dog because they lived on like 36 acres, okay? Yeah, like Vermont shit, okay?
Yeah.
And they just went, I was like, hey, will you just go get him? Like, I don't feel comfortable. Please. I don't know what the fuck is going on in my house right now, but like, will you just go get my dog? She went and got him and I didn't have to worry about it. But I had to call, the sheriff had called me and was like, hey, does this story sound weird to you? I'm like, hell yeah, it sounds weird to me.
It's like the epitome of weird.
I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And I kid you not, they completely moved out by the time I got back.
What?
Gone. Like, gone. Completely gone.
That's a good thing though, right?
Yeah. So I had to like call my landlord and be like, hey, somebody trying to break into my house, and like not give the extensive details. Word. And she had sent somebody over to like fix the front door because it wouldn't shut all the way. And I can't have that. So that was that situation.
Jesus.
But and then I didn't live with somebody for a while until my best friend that had come and picked up my dog. She was living with her mom, and her mom at the time, it was like up and down. Like, she'd be real cool and then she'd be real not cool. Because she liked to do a lot of like fun stuff.
Yeah.
And would like wig out on my friend. And at the time, my best friend's daughter was like 6. I had gone over to their house. And I would literally just like listen to her mom like berate her. And then finally I like in me internally, like I couldn't handle it anymore. Right. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to like pack whatever you can right now because you're gonna come live with me. This is done. Yeah. Like, this is absolutely done. And when I tell you, to this day, I've never lived with anybody better.
Oh.
And it actually is like one of those things where I think about it all the time, like, damn, we could still be living together. No, but truly, like, we were on the same wavelength. Like, we worked together.
Yeah.
At a bowling alley. It was really funny. We met at a pizza place. She was the bartender at a pizza place. I was a server.
Hell yeah.
And then she wasn't there anymore, and she started working at this bowling alley / like ski lodge. Because again, we're in a ski town.
Right.
And so she was running the bowling alley, and it was kind of fancy. Like, I'm talking couches, nice bar, like big old screens,
like high rent shit.
Yeah. And she needed reliable workers, and she was like, do you want to come work for me? I was like, fuck yeah. So I ended up being her lead bartender. So we lived together, and then we started working together, and it was almost like we call each other soulmates because, like, if I was working, she would make me dinner. Yeah. And if she was working, I would make her dinner.
And you would never have to ask neither.
Never. It would just be done. Same thing.
Dude, girls with, like, are the cleaning best.
And well, some. It really just depends. Right. It depends on if you're on the same page, right? Because, like, even our cleanliness style was like exactly the same.
Right.
Like, we were the type of people that if we did dinner, sorry, but we're not gonna fucking do this insane cleaning like right after dinner. We'll get to it like the next day, like the next morning. That's just how we were, like the next day or two, whatever. But it wasn't like an immediate like OCD, we need to do this right now. But we also weren't like slobs either.
Right.
But it was truly perfect. And, being a single mom, it was really tough for her finding people to like help with her daughter, but it was a no-brainer for me.
Right.
Like, I would work like Christmas so she could spend Christmas with her daughter, And then she would work Thanksgiving because I think that was the holiday that her daughter would go to her dad's, and I
Right.
would spend Thanksgiving with my parents. So like we would just like make it work.
Nice. You're just co-parenting with
Yeah,
your bestie.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to joke all the time and say we don't even need a man. Like
Yeah.
we're each other's like soulmates.
Yes.
But yeah, we ended up leaving that place because the shitty roommate that was drug dealing and doing all the things, he would get out of the shower and like leave this like soaked floor in my bathroom. Like would never clean it up. And so eventually my floor started like rotting and like sinking in, and then there being like a massive hole in front of my shower.
That's crazy.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's okay to just leave like this puddle? Again, young, dumb, I don't know.
Right.
So we were on the hunt again for a new place. And
at this point,
I'm still in college
with your bestie?
Yes, with my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's my ex at the time, which is so funny because my ex and her have the same last name.
Yeah.
Manning, and it's also my stepmom's maiden last name.
Okay, is this
so
a
like
sign?
No, well, we're not together anymore, so obviously it wasn't a sign.
Oh, okay, right.
But everybody used to think that my best friend and my ex were siblings because they were both black. And in Vermont, sorry, it's just not that common.
Right.
Very white state, very, very much so. Nice people, but predominantly white state. So they were like, "Oh my god, are they siblings?" I'm like, "No, they're not siblings. Weirdly, they just have the same last name." Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so we're on the hunt now for another 3-bedroom place. And we ended up getting this one place, and I don't know why we did it because the rent was like ridiculous. I think we were paying almost $2,000 for like a small, like when I tell you like it was like a rectangular apartment. It was like thin rectangular, okay?
Right.
I'm trying to let me draw the picture for you. Okay, here's
Set
the
scene.
here's the apartment. Okay, this like again, long rectangular bathroom, bedroom, living room, kitchen. Like just a long rectangle of an apartment. And it was like quickly put together, and we paid a lot of money, and it's not worth it. We should have shopped around a little bit. One day, my dog got stuck in one of the bedrooms when nobody was home because his fat butt shuts doors sometimes. And he gets anxiety.
Like separation anxiety?
Not even really separation anxiety. It's more like claustrophobic.
Oh, okay.
We can never do cages with this dog. Like he would find like metal cages, plastic. He would find a way to like Hulk slam out. Like one time he had cuts all over his body because he literally found a way to like bust out of a metal cage.
Oh no!
Like didn't care. He was just happy to be out.
Right.
And there was no like trauma on our end from the cages either. Like it was never as like a punishment. It was just like initially we did it because we weren't home, and just he doesn't like that. So he ended up shutting himself in a room. Wooden door, like nice wooden door, but it wasn't stained. It was like a raw door. Like I said, this apartment was like thrown together really fast.
Right.
And he just destroyed it. The whole back of the door. He just destroyed. He never got out.
Hollow door?
No, it was a thick, solid wood door. He never like got through it completely, but he took a big.
He was pretty damn close. He was getting there.
Thank God my father was a contractor.
Right.
Thank God, because I was like, Dad. Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah. So and then by the front door we had a window that he would prop up on, and he scratched that a little bit too. So my dad just kind of like fixed all the shit like before we left. But one of his workers put the door on backwards so it didn't like shut correctly, and like the landlord figured that out really fast, so we had to pay for that like after we left. But so that was my college experience, I guess, essentially in a nutshell as far as like renting goes. And so outside of college, I was moving back down here. I got rid of everything.
You downsized?
Everything. The only thing that we brought with us, so I was smart and I shipped our clothes.
Okay.
So I got big cardboard boxes, put all the clothes in it, just shipped it because that's going to take up like my whole car if I.
Right.
So I was like, nope, this is dumb. I will just pay. And this is COVID time because I moved here June of 2020, which I had plans to move to Florida before COVID. So I didn't like hop on the like no mask like COVID train because I lived here when I was little. So I was just coming back.
Right.
So I had all my clothes mailed here and we just got rid of all of our furniture. It was all college shit. So
Yeah.
it's like whatever you collected over the years.
Like free hand-me-down shit. Yeah,
like secondhand, like thrifting. I mean, not that I'm against thrifting because I still do that.
Right.
But I was like, let's just start over. So it was literally my ex, me, my dog, and my 2 cats with like a TV in the trunk.
Hell yeah.
And like basic necessities. And we drove down here. His aunt, conveniently, was a realtor, and she found us our place in Cocoa that we lived in. And she actually got our rent dropped down. It was initially, I think, supposed to be like $1,300 for the place, which is relatively cheap for a whole house still here. But I guess the 3rd bedroom didn't have a closet. So she's like, this is
a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, she's like, it's an office space. It can't be called a bedroom.
Right.
I was like, word. So she got like $100 to like $200 off of our rent. I can't remember, but that was really cool because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So if you're ever going to rent a place, definitely have a realtor do that for you and like check it out because they know their shit.
Definitely call me is what she meant to say.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Call me. I got you.
But like, just don't do it like solely on your own because I had no idea. I didn't know that was a thing. I would just be like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. But no, she's like, no, I'm gonna like knock this down and like get this for you. So that was cool. And the place worked out initially, but it was such a dump. Like as time went on, like the house really just like started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It's the reason why that place was so cheap. Let's just put it that way. But that was the first time I'd ever not worked directly with a landlord. I was working with a property company.
Right.
And they were awful. Awful.
Not all property managers are built the same. 100%.
And I looked at their Google reviews after I moved out and they have like phenomenal stuff. And I'm like, how?
Right, yeah.
Are they paid to get these reviews? Because even when I don't know, because I'm telling you what, even contractors, when they would come to work on the house, when things were wrong, they hated that property company because they'd have to threaten legal action to get paid from them.
Damn. When we're not filming, I want to know the name. Because we're not going to bash anybody on here directly with their name.
No, I don't need to like get sued, though. I could probably really sue them if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So, prime example, and again, information I didn't know.
Right.
Right? Because I don't work in the real estate realm. My windows were as old as the house.
Right. How old was the house?
It was like built in like the late 60s.
Damn.
Original? So plexiglass,
dude,
wooden framed windows.
Yeah.
They don't have screens. Yeah. None of them have screens, and they don't stay open.
Yikes.
Half of them were nailed shut.
Oh, that's an issue.
That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't know that though.
Right.
That's like a fire hazard, and I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like they started to rot. My windows, like, I would, like, try it, because sometimes, like, I would have to, like, open it to put, like, a AC unit or something, and the whole window would just, like, bust or fall out or whatever. One time, one of my windows, the frame had rotted so bad that, like, the thing just, like, fell out, right? So I told the property company, I was like, hey,
yeah,
window fell out, what are we gonna do? So they send this dude, and this is what I mean by, like, I don't know if they just, like, pick the crappiest of the crap or whatever. They're
probably picking the cheapest.
They sent this dude to come do my window. He removes the entire window. And boards it up. And he goes, I have to go to Lowe's real quick to go pick up the window. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. He's like, I'll be right back. He never came back.
Hello.
He had texted me and said they ordered the wrong window.
Right.
That was in October. Do you want to know when I got my window fixed?
When?
January.
Jesus. That's insane. It was just boarded
It
up.
was just boarded up, dude. I'm telling you, my neighbors probably thought like
that you guys were like doing drugs and shit.
Something.
Yeah.
Like
it was a trap house for sure.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. So we had the first year was fine with the AC, but then like the second year, I was like, what is happening? Like, it's not working. It's not getting cool in this house. So they would send like AC person after AC person after AC person. And I was getting really annoyed because they wouldn't like go up in the attic where like the main thing was. They wouldn't like check on anything upstairs. You know what it took? And I went probably almost a full year without functioning AC.
Jesus.
And I still paid my rent. I never not paid my rent. I never did the escrow thing.
I was gonna say you should definitely have put your rent in an escrow.
But again, I didn't know. I didn't know any better. And my thing is like I get anxiety thinking about having animosity with people that I have to like
rely on.
Yeah. Depend on. Yeah. So I try to be as like nice as possible. Right. Even though my mom is like, you need to call them and cuss them out. And I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't be mean to people. Like, I can't be mean to these front desk girls when it's like essentially not even really their fault. Right, it's not them. They're just like being told what to do. So I'm not going to cuss these like probably like young 20-year-old girls out. Yeah. Like, so, you know what it took to finally get it fixed? No. So my electrical in the house went out. My dryer kept the breaker kept flicking, and my mom was like, that's a fire hazard, you have to tell them. So they sent an inspector to my house again because this house was old. And I had old copper wiring all throughout my house. So I had to get my whole house rewired, right? Which was fine, essentially. Like the electrical guys were like super chill. Right. I really liked them. They came, got that shit done within like a 2-week time frame. They were cool with my dog and everything, so I didn't have to worry about that. Because at this time, I think it was just me living there because me and my ex had separated at this point. He moved out into his own place, and it was just me. So because they were doing the wiring, they had to go up in the attic. Right. So guess what they discovered in the attic?
What'd they discover?
My ducts were crushed.
Oh, shit.
You would think after like 4 or 5 AC guys, they would have figured that out. Yeah. No, it took my electricians.
Dude, that's crazy.
And not only that, so where my garage was, they had converted, whoever lived there before me had converted it like into like a Florida room or whatever. Right. Well, there was condensation in that part of the attic where the ducts were. So I'm like, cool. Mold. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I never went up there, so I don't really know. And finally, like, they had validated me, and so I had called the property company because they just kept sending all these AC dudes that like didn't know what the hell they were doing. It was pissing me off.
Not helpful.
I think the most recent thing that they had done was they had sent somebody, said I needed a part. The part was on like back order. Took 2 months to come. They finally go to fix it, and it's not even broken. Nice. That was like the final straw for me. Yeah. Yeah. So finally, I called my property people, and I was like, "Hey, my electricians can physically see what the problem is with my AC. Right. So how about you send somebody over here that will like go up in my attic?" Yeah. They send this Spanish dude, Carlos. Shout out to Carlos. Okay. I wish I knew his business name because I would like 5-star that man. Like 10 out of 10. He was so sweet, so attentive, and he busted his ass when he was at my house. First thing he did, went straight to my attic.
Hell yeah.
Straight to my attic.
Hell yeah.
And you know what he said?
What?
Your ducts are crushed. I was like, oh my God, I feel seen. I feel heard.
Hallelujah.
And he got to it. He got straight to it. He replaced all the ducts. He replaced all the little vents too. And then he redid all the insulation.
Nice.
Granted, it was like sawdust insulation, so shitty. Right. But literally, like, it took almost a year of having no AC.
In Florida. That's fucking bananas.
Yeah, which I feel like that's illegal. It's technically not, but it should be.
In the state of Florida, the landlords are only responsible for heat. You don't have to have AC.
Which is wild because, like, when do we really need
We
heat?
never use the heat. I can count on, like, 3 fingers how many times I've used my heat.
Yeah. So finally, Carlos saved the day. That's my... So if Brevard County, if you hire some AC guy and his name is Carlos, just know you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Okay, you are in great hands. And that man came by himself. He was like a one-man team.
Dude, shout out to Carlos.
Yeah. So, that happened. So yeah, my electro got replaced, my AC got replaced, my windows were awful. I barely would get those barely fixed like here and there.
Jesus.
And then my shower started backing up sewage.
Oh, nice. So it was a septic tank?
Mm-hmm. So we get somebody out to assess. Well, actually, no. Before we even discovered it was a septic tank issue, they sent these poor guys out, and they snaked down into my toilet. Fun fact: he snaked down into the toilet and it ended up in the laundry room.
Oh, shit.
He was like, "What?" He's like, "Where are you hearing this right now?" I'm like, "In the laundry room." He's like, "No." I was like, "Well, it's in there."
I swear to God.
Yeah. And so they found out my main drain line or whatever was like through the roof. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, it was through the roof. And then they're not supposed to like give you like details as a renter, but oh yeah, they gave me details. They were so annoyed with my situation. They were even like, straight up, they're like, this house needs to be condemned. That's what they said to me. I'm like, cool. No. I love this for me. Yeah. They showed me a picture of my pipes, and there was roots growing into the pipes. Like, that's how old, because they're the original ones.
Yeah, 68. I'd say they're probably cast iron.
Oh, bad. The pictures were nuts.
Yeah.
And that was only a temporary fix for a little bit, because eventually it's not solving the problem, it's just like prolonging the issue.
Yeah.
So they send someone out to fix the septic first. And that was actually the beginning of January of this year. They had sent somebody out to replace the septic, and I'll never forget, they knock on my front door and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, where's the top to your septic?
Shut up.
I was like, what are you talking?
Shut up. You don't have a cap?
There wasn't a cap.
Oh my God.
There wasn't a cap on my septic tank. So it was full of sand.
Yeah.
And it corroded the tank.
100%.
And they're like, this is literally just going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Because they were just going to pump it out.
Yeah.
Like, they just thought it needed to be, but no, the whole thing needed to be replaced. And I just felt like every time they tell me something, no matter what company it is, I'm like, am I in a Twilight Zone?
Right.
And that's why every time,
this cannot be real
and then
life.
I kept referring back to the plumbers who were like, this place needs to be condemned. And I'm like, I understand now.
Dude.
Yeah, so they end up replacing that.
Did they repipe too? Replumb?
They did that after I moved out. Because that's a whole other thing. But they came to replace the septic. Well, they broke the main line.
Okay, nice. The one in the ceiling.
No, like the regular like plumbing, like to the city's water. They broke my main line not once but twice.
Oh, okay, nice.
And they didn't even know it until I was like, hey, I don't have any running water in my house. Like, what's happening? I'm like, oh, turn your water back, because we can turn it off and on. They're like, oh, they probably just forgot. And so I did. I'm like, hey, nothing's happening. And they're like, oh.
Right.
So they send somebody out, and this poor man is spending hours, and he didn't even do it.
Yeah.
It was the guys doing the septic, and this poor man for that company, the same guy that had like snaked into my toilet and ended up in the laundry room. Super cool dude. I don't remember his name. I wish I did. He fixed it, and it didn't even dawn on me how much gallons of water had probably been used and released until I got my water bill.
Right.
It was like $430. And when I called my property company, because it wasn't my fault.
Correct.
And they're like, well, the landlord's only gonna like cover half. Because I provided statements of like what my water bill was. My water bill ranged from like $50 to like $70.
Right.
Depending if I had people staying with me or vice versa.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is what it is. And I provided like 3 months worth of, so they had like consistency versus like what was going on. And they're like, well, legally your landlord's not responsible for your utility bill. I'm like, but it's not like my utility bill.
Correct. I didn't do that.
This is something that happened. Like, I didn't have a choice in this matter, you know? And they're like, well, he's only going to cover half. I was like, well, that's bullshit. Thankfully, is it FPL? Oh, well, City of Cocoa. City of Cocoa. They have a high usage form that you fill out.
Right.
Where it's like, if anything like that happens, where it's like abnormal amount. So like, as far as like the metrics go, I don't really know if it's like for tons, gallons, whatever, but it's like my metric on average was like 3. And from this situation,
That's per
it was,
10,000 gallons.
And for this situation, it was 270.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was so obvious.
Right.
So I obviously qualify, and I like, shout out to this lady, the City of Cocoa. She was sweet. You could tell she was just the sweetest black lady in the world. And she was like, oh, honey, just fill out this form. And, they'll probably approve it for you.
I love it when a black lady calls me sweetie.
Oh,
honey.
she was awesome.
Dude.
Because I was stressed.
Immediately.
I was stressed. And she's like, nope, just fill this out. You'll qualify. It's never happened to you before. I was like, no. She's like, yeah, no problem. So if you ever have that happen to you,
right,
don't fret. Just fill this form.
Dude,
and so
nice.
They waived my entire thing.
Wow.
Yeah, besides like the basic stuff.
Your $50 to $70.
Yeah. So, and then, so they cover, my landlord paid for like half of it. And then they prorated me for like because I was out without water for like 2 whole days. They prorated me like, it's like $75.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off, actually.
Yeah, so I was
That's
like,
so trash.
I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just getting screwed out of this situation when it had like nothing to do with me. And fun fact, when my AC wasn't working, right? My electricity bill during the summer was like almost $400.
I would scream and cry and throw up.
Almost $400.
I literally couldn't even imagine. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And when I would tell people that, they're like, Mariah, are you serious? I'm like, I'm dead serious. So yes, like in a hindsight too, if you think about it, like, yes, my rent at the time was like $1,200, but then adding on like almost like I was paying like $1,600 for my place. Essentially, it's like yeah, on paper it's cheap, but like with the utilities, like it's average at this point.
And not to mention the headache.
Yeah, and I could have like moved into somewhere nicer, newer for the same amount of money and paid less in utilities, but like I didn't know any better. So the final straw, sorry, not the final straw. I have to back up because another situation had happened. My roof was leaking. Ooh. And this is when I had my baby at this point. My son was a newborn. And my roof kept leaking in this one specific spot through a light, by the way, So I'm like, wow, electrical fire, right?
Yeah.
So when my son was 5 months old, this was January of 25.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's 5 months old. They had replaced my entire roof, which was cool. But the leaking didn't stop.
What?
And they never came and like fixed the day, because I had said to them multiple times, I even cried to them on the phone. I was like, I'm scared about mold.
Yeah.
I have a newborn. I have a baby. Like, I'm scared about mold in my house.
Right.
And they're like, don't worry, yada, yada, yada. Because I'm like, I don't want my son to have health issues because of mold. Like me, I don't give a fuck, whatever. But like my son, like I'm scared. And there was like water damage on the door frames. You could see it.
Oh, no.
And like on the ceiling, like around the light.
Yeah.
And they had sent somebody to paint over it.
Oh nice. The landlord special.
Because it went all the way into my kitchen. It was like in my living room hallway, and then it was spread into the kitchen. And all they did was they sent somebody to scrape off the old paint and paint over new stuff. Like, they didn't actually like go up in the attic and like assess if there was like mold or anything. They never did that.
Jesus.
Ever. And so then they fixed the roof, right? So they think because they fixed the roof and they painted the ceiling, like the mold is gone.
Right.
No.
Just don't think about it. Don't see it.
And then my roof started leaking again through that light fixture, and I was like, how is this happening right now? If I just got a new roof.
Right.
It was our AC.
Yep.
It was a condensation leak.
Yep.
So they kept having like roofers come to check out when we really needed a HVAC person to come and like check it out. Which is funny now because my man does HVAC now. Now he does. So all the things that we think about with our old place, he's like,
hindsight's always 20/20, dude.
yeah.
You don't know what you don't know until you know, and then you know.
Yeah.
But
So now it's just the irony. I really like the irony of it all. So we were living with that inside, and in my brain, I'm like, this is all just covered up. There's probably because my insulation, remember how I said to you, was sawdust. So if sawdust is wet and soaked,
yep, it's moldy.
It's molding.
Sawdust is literally wood. It's like, literally shaved wood.
And then with the heat and everything else, like you can't sit there and tell me that there wasn't mold up there.
Right.
I never went up there, but you can't tell me that there wasn't. So final straw after the septic situation is we needed to get all the pipes replaced. It was obvious. So I was like, okay, well, what is that gonna look like?
Right.
And I was so straight up and I was so blunt. I was like, because I got screwed over in the septic tank situation.
Right.
We knew the pipes had to have been replaced. So this was January, right? That we were just talking about like finally doing what needed to be done. 6 months prior to that, so last July, that's when we had the initial plumbing issue. So that's when we knew things had to change. And so in my brain, I'm like, well, shit, we're going to have to move.
Right.
So I was stressing out and I was like, we're going to have to move. Not going to be able to go to Vermont. Not going to be able to take this trip. So I reached out to the property company and I was like, all right, like, what do I need to do? You know, obviously we're going to have to move out. The property manager calls me personally.
Oh, finally.
And he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't fret. You don't need to move out. He was like, there's a crawl space under your house that the front desk girls don't know about. So we're going to be able to work with you. You don't have to leave. We don't want you to leave. We've had you for a tenant for a couple of years. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, because I like don't give you issues.
Right.
When I should. And this was July. Okay. Right. So fast forward 6 months later, this past January, we're finally getting the nitty gritty. We're finally planning like what is going to happen for this move out. And I was like, I don't care what needs to be done. I just want to make sure that I am compensated for this to happen.
Right.
Because they're like, you're probably not going to be able to be in the house because it's extensive stuff. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. But are you going to pay for it?
Right.
So these are all the details that I need to know. And then they wanted to put me on a 3-way call with the plumbing company, which was a bad idea, by the way, because I know some things about some things. Ooh. So they put me on this call with them to explain to me the process on what it's going to look like for them to re-pipe, because they said they had to go into the bathroom, they had to go into the kitchen, they had to go into the laundry room. Yeah. Well, they said for the bathroom, it's concrete that they have to bust through. And depending on how much concrete they have to go through will depend on if it's a quick fix or if it's not going to be. Like they said, if it's just a little bit of concrete, then they can do that themselves. But if it's extensive concrete, then they have to hire a company to come out. Yeah. My brother owns a concrete company. So I know how long it takes for a concrete company to actually get hired to go out to a job because they're booked. Right. They're like one of the busiest companies that there is because they're the foundation for everything. Right. So these people on the phone with me, even though I didn't say anything, I'm thinking to myself, this ain't going to just be like a 2-week situation. This could be like 2 months. Yeah. So I'm just like playing along with it, whatever. And they're like, yeah, so when can we come do it? And then they're like asking me like, are you going to go on vacation anytime soon? I'm like, even if I did go on vacation, like I've got animals. You guys know, They knew I had animals and they knew I have a child. And they were just like, so when are you going to go on vacation? I'm like, I'm not right now. Yeah. Like, I don't know when I'm going to be going on vacation. So I get off this 3-way call with them, which I still don't know why they did that. Because they're like, so just let us know when we can come. And again, I reiterated, I don't care when you come. I just want to make sure I'm compensated for wherever I'm being put up.
Right.
So I think that embarrassed my property company because we got off the 3-way call and they're like, Mariah, we're gonna call you back personally. So they call me back personally. This time when they call me back, the property manager was on the phone.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the phone call, on the 3-way phone call. It was just like the office girl that like I talk with all the time.
Right.
So the main property manager was on the call with her this time, and she's like, "Hey Mariah, I have you on a 3-way call with so and so you can address your concerns." And I'm thinking to myself, why are you putting me on a 3-way call to address my concerns that you are already fully aware of what my concerns are?
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So he ends up being nasty.
To you.
Yeah. Because I was like, all right, here's my concerns. You guys did my septic and I got screwed in that situation. And I thought that was really unfair for them to do that to me.
Right.
And he was like, well, you're lucky that your landlord even covered any of that for you because legally it's not on them to have to do that. So first of all, I'm like, oh, I see how this is going to go.
Right.
And that was the first time he had ever been somewhat nasty to me in like the 5 years that I lived there.
Right.
So I was like, oh, because somebody else is in the room right now, like you're gonna be rude to me?
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm put up somewhere, what is that gonna look like? And he's like, oh, well, we're just gonna prorate your rent. I said, you're gonna prorate my rent? You prorated me last time and you gave me like $40 a day.
Right.
So, do you understand how expensive it is for me to stay somewhere with my child and my animals?
Right.
And you're not going to match that? That was insane to me.
Yeah. For months, mind you.
And you know what this motherfucker. You know what he said to me?
You can swear.
He was like, "Well, if you don't recall, you had the option to move out in July." And I didn't call him out, but I wanted to so badly and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because you literally called and begged me to stay.
Correct.
If you don't remember correctly, because I remember correctly how you begged me. You said, whoa, 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 whoa.
Right.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I would have left.
Yeah.
And he begged me not to. So I didn't. And so like the whole thing just like flipped. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's not going to work for me. Like,
Right.
I'm going to end up paying more than my monthly rent
Right.
in a Airbnb for like 2 weeks, which is probably going to be longer than that. So I was like, fuck no. And then they were like, or we'll give you your security deposit in full and we'll let you move out. We'll send you some of our properties. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yes.
Because I finally was like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm going to do that. But it wasn't going to be with them.
Absolutely not.
And the weirdest thing is I had a client come in. I had done her hair shortly after she had given birth. And I can always tell when I have a client who just went through maternity because there's always a band in their hair that's darker.
Right.
So like your natural hair would grow out, but there'd be one band of like those 9 months because the hormone change, it's always darker.
Okay.
So even if somebody is pregnant and they don't know it, I can always tell before they know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Science.
So there's things like that that kind of just like let you know it's really cool. But she had come to see me. She was a natural blonde, never had her hair. I shouldn't say. I don't think she hadn't had her hair done for a couple years. I shouldn't say never, but it was for a couple years. And we were just shooting the shit. And I was like, you got beautiful hair. Like, you should let me highlight it sometime.
Yeah.
And she came back to me 6 months later or whatever, this past January.
So January.
Yeah. And I did a full balayage on her. And we were just shooting the shit. We were very similar. She had one child. I had one child. Her child was like 6 months older than my son. But she was venting to me about how they had to move to Miami.
Oh, man.
Her man works for Sam's Club, and he became the district manager for Sam's Club in Miami, so they had to move.
Hell yeah.
But she was stressing out because she needed to find tenants for her house.
I need a house. You need a tenant, I need a house.
Yeah, so she was stressing out because she needed tenants for her place. And it was a weird time of year because when you think of like renting, you think of like July, like usually I want to say it's like April to July, like that time frame. But they were looking January and December, like, and they had no luck. And this was the day before I got on that 3-way call with my property company and the plumbers.
Dude, what are the chances?
Yeah. And I had no idea that this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like venting to her. She's venting to me. I'm venting to her. And I'm just like, yep. I got 3 cats and 2 dogs. So like trying to find a new place for me is going to be hard.
Right.
But one of my dogs is literally going to be 15 years old this August. So, like, I don't think he really counts. And then, like, cats, they're outdoor cats. They just do whatever they want to. So, again, I feel like they don't really count.
So she actually has no pets.
Yeah, essentially. Just one insane bully. And I think she might have some downs or something. I don't know. I love her, but something's wrong with her mentally. But I'm just venting to her about that. And then I'm venting to her about, on paper, it looks like I don't make a lot of money because, like, I'm self-employed.
Right.
But my bank, I mean, if I show my bank statements, like, it's different. But because I'm self-employed, like, it's hard to, like, prove that to people. And then my credit, which it's good now. This has been a year of me really working on my credit. But it wasn't good because when me and my ex had split up, I had a roommate for a little while. And she, like, didn't pay a lot, and that's my fault. That was really my fault. I should have asked for more. I didn't. So I put myself in a financial position where I ended up taking a lot of, like, quick loans out.
Okay.
Yeah, so not good. So that's been part of my rehab on my credit report, is fixing all of that. So, but I'm just venting all of this to, like, this chick.
Right.
And Darius had just started doing HVAC. He was brand new into that. So we didn't know what his income was going to look like at that point because he had been bartending for so long. Like, he made great money bartending, but HVAC is a whole different realm.
Right.
So we didn't know. So I'm just venting to her about it all. And then I found out the next day that I could move. And she wanted for her place, I think, $2,400 a month.
Yeah.
Which I knew we could swing $2,000.
Right.
Because we were paying a babysitter like $800 a month. And so that would have made our total, like, rent. So I kind of included that with our rent. I was like, well, it's like $2,200 a month, and we could manage that. So I think we could manage $2,000 a month if we wanted to. So
Right.
I was like, damn, I wish her place was like that much. And my coworker was like, just ask her.
Yeah, just ask. Where she could say is no.
Yeah, she's like, just ask her. And I was like, you know what? I sat with her and did her hair for like 6 hours because I did a full balayage and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I made her hair look phenomenal. So I think that also kind of probably was on my side a little bit. And so I was like, hey, just throwing this out there. I know you need tenants. I just found out I can move. And I could probably move into your place in like 2 weeks because she was moving out within a week and going to Miami. So they would have been paying their mortgage and paying for their apartment in Miami, right? So they ended up saying yes. One, because we're a family.
Yeah.
And, she knew that we weren't going to be, like, destroying her house.
Right.
And they had big dogs, too. Like I said, very similar people. They had 1 cat, 2 big dogs, a daughter, right? So, like, essentially they were just 2 cats short of what we were. And her man, she's like, let me just talk to him about it. And he was on board with it. And it was just crazy how everything worked out. I was stressed out about how we were going to come up with the money to move.
Right.
Weirdly enough, because I do all my transactions through Square at work. I got approved for a Square loan. That was like exactly how much that we needed to like move into this place.
Yeah.
So I was like, the timing of like being able to move, getting this loan, I was like, this is like a no-brainer. Yeah. It's like truly like a no-brainer.
The stars aligned.
Yeah, it was like right before my 30th birthday. So that was kind of like a preemptive gift to myself. But now, after all the years of turmoil, we're finally in a beautiful neighborhood. We have a fenced-in backyard. My son plays outside all day long. My old dog can live his retirement life now.
Yes.
My utility bills are so low. Who would have thought?
Yay.
It's great. It's great. And now we're like working on doing what needs to be done so we can buy.
Yeah.
hopefully within the next year or two.
Yes.
But that is my life history of renting.
There's hope for you too.
So,
give me a call.
yeah, let Amanda help you out. So she actually set me up with people to start looking into the direction of being responsible and what I need to do in order to like buy a house.
Yeah.
So that is my next step, is to start getting more into that. I'm just trying to pay off some little things and, like I said, fix my credit, and then do the big girl step and talk to some smart people.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you. You're just doing the damn thing.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm 30 now. I gotta get my shit together.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but the official like average age of the first time home buyer in America is surpassed 40 now.
Wow, that makes me feel amazing.
Yeah. So you're like actually ahead of the game.
Perfect. Because Darius said I can't have another kid until we buy a house. So the sooner the better.
Yes. Time to lock in.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Loved hearing this. Yeah, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Your new house is great.
Yeah.
So you're in good hands for a long while.
Yeah. Yeah. We're comfortable. No mold. No plumbing issues.
Woo! Yeah, it's a new build.
And that it's the Dr. Horton. What is
DR Horton.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Dr. Horton. I'm calling it that now. A Dr. Horton home.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Dr. Horton built this house.
Dr. Horton.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Sweet. Well, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Stay tuned for the next one.
Yes.